This is Channel 5 News in the headlines. Construction on new Marigot Hospital to start within the next 2 months. Builders and Contractors Association highlight the need for increased safety of construction workers. And days before trade unions meet the Prime Minister, some are claiming they are yet to receive a formal invitation. I am Idona John Baptist with the Channel 5 News. Details after this. First up, attorney for the family of deceased Joshua Etienne, Tiani Bihanzin, says he expects the Director of Public Prosecutions to act on a recent decision by a magistrate to release a police officer accused of Etienne's death. 2 police officers are now to stand trial following Tuesday's preliminary inquiry, or PI, where a 3rd police officer facing murder charges was set free. Attorney Tiani Bihanzin met with Joshua Etienne's relatives on Thursday to chart the way forward in light of witness statements in the PI, which caused Officer Gemma Louis to be released.
It seems to me that the DPP has several options. They could use Section 10 under the Criminal Procedures Rules, Cap 34, if they believe that the officer ought to have been charged and should not have been released as the magistrate have released him. Use a Section 10, have her arrested by a George's warrant and brought to the court. The evidence is transferred immediately from the magistrate to the High Court. The court then issues the warrant, and then the matter proceeds as normal.
Bihanzin says he is not taking lightly what he calls a false accusation against him by a witness who said he was instructed by Bihanzin to lie on Officer Louis.
I only got involved in this matter days after they had already started the proceeding, taking their witness summons and so on. It's rather outrageous for some of the statements that have been made against me, the false allegations. It is a question, as we have in most of the matters here before the courts, where the profession is such a state that a lawyer would actually adduce evidence which is so damaging to the reputation of another lawyer, knowing it to be false. If there are witnesses who recant their story, that happens a lot sometimes, all you would have to do is, if you believe that the recanted stories are on outrageous fabrication, recent fabrication, or a calculated fabrication, you would simply treat them as hostile witnesses. You would then take what they said, in this case, some 3 years ago. What if what they're saying now is such a big night and day difference? Then you deal with them accordingly. You can charge them for perjury, if in fact they have lied, and you then, get the matter to the High Court, let the jury decide.
Bihanzin is also questioning the decision by the magistrate to return the matter to court this week for another PI.
The strangest thing is that normally you have one committal process or one preliminary inquiry, PI, in a matter that is an indictable matter. This one had a PI which concluded with the decision by the magistrate, the sitting magistrate, to commit 3 individuals for trial. I think 2 were released, 3 were committed for trial. The murder trial charge at the time being murder. In the middle of that, the magistrate, instead of committing the papers to the High Court, allowed defense submission, which would effectively reopen the PI, unheard of, because it's a paper committal. Materials are prepared on paper, sent up to the High Court for trial.
Dominicans in Marigot and environs can rest assured that construction on the new Marigot Hospital will begin in earnest within the next 2 months. This according to the Minister for Health, Dr. Kenneth Daru, when he addressed a town hall meeting in Wesley on Wednesday. The Marigot Hospital had been shut down in 2016 due to mold infestation, and medical services for the area had subsequently been relocated. In late March, the government of Mexico had pledged $5 million towards the construction of the new Marigot Hospital, which is set to get underway soon.
They're telling us that they're going to implement this project for what we call the United Nations Office for Project Services, UNOPS. Now, UNOPS is also a very experienced organization that's very experienced in designing and building hospitals. They have assured us that with the modern building technology that they have at their disposal, that they can have this hospital ready and commissioned by August of 2018. Rest assured that in the next month, the next 2 months, that you should see work starting on your new Marigot Hospital. Rest assured. Okay, so I really want you to take note of that, and you can hold me to that.
The medical services of the Marigot Hospital and Marigot Health Center were initially housed in the same building. However, Dr. Daru pointed out that this is not ideal and a separate building had been identified for the Marigot Health Center.
Again, the experts have advised us that what existed before, meaning the Marigot Hospital and the health center being together, is not really optimal way to go. So what we are saying that, given that the $5 million have been now donated or given to us by the Mexican government, the $1.5 million that we have budgeted from local funds, CBI money, okay, we are now going to upgrade, we are now going to remodel or begin to remodel the junior school in Marigot into a type-free health center. We would have done several site visits to the area. The experts, the technical people would advise us that it can work, so we are now going to convert it into a type-free health center.
The minister also disclosed that 3 health facilities, including the new Marigot Hospital, are set to be upgraded to self-contained units through funding under the Pan-American Health Organization, PAHO.
The facilities that we plan on upgrading would have been Marigot, Lapland, and Grand Bay. Now, the fact that we are now going to build a new facility that's in the Marigot Hospital, we are now asking PAHO that since that we're going to build a new Marigot Hospital, whatever money that would have been allocated towards upgrading the old facility, can we please use the money to now put in what they call solar power, renewable energy, to make it what they call self-containing, especially post-disasters. This project is now set to make this health center that they call climate-proof, disaster-proof, so they can continue functioning. And again, the Marigot Hospital has been chosen to spend up in excess of $2 million to put in renewable energy, water system, etc.
The Builders and Contractors Association of Dominica has called for improved focus on the safety of construction workers. President of the association, Anthony Leblanc, made the call following construction-related deaths in recent years. He called on all stakeholders to do their part to improve occupational health and safety.
It is high time that the public sector policies demonstrate that employees have value by creating an atmosphere for the design of an occupational health and safety strategy in Dominica that will simultaneously protect workers while enhancing productivity. We have repeatedly called for the state to hold someone accountable for accidents which result in death at the workplace, for the upgrading of legislation and Occupational Health and Safety Inspectorate, and for making personnel safety equipment more affordable by eliminating duties and VAT on these. Let me take this opportunity to impress on our builders and contractors to develop a health and safety policy and implement good practice at the workplace. Let me implore all project owners and financiers to insist on an operational health and safety policy for the construction of the work which you sponsor or finance.
He expressed disappointment in what he views as a lack of enthusiasm from the public sector in its support for technical and vocational training.
On April 13, 2016, for the Prior Learning Assessment and Recognition PLAR route, CVQ certificates were awarded to 45 construction workers, while 15 were presented with certificates as assessors or verifiers in construction modules stemming from training by the National Training Agency of Trinidad and Tobago. This is a far cry from our 2014 target of 500 and the initial registration of 250 construction employees. We continue to lament the lack of enthusiasm from the public sector in technical and vocational education, in enhancing skills, certification, and retooling of the existing workforce. In fact, we were hoping that after piloting this PLAR program and having put together a report with all our experiences and data, the Tibet Council would run with it. But where is the Tibet Council now?
In other news, the Ministry of Tourism is looking into the possibility of building moorings in the Soufriere Scotshead Bay in order to tap into the yachting business, as is already being done in Portsmouth and Newtown.
That venture is expected to be a collaborative one involving the Ministry of Tourism, Soufriere Scotshead Marine Reserve and other stakeholders.
Yachties are persons who stay on yachts. They end up spending a lot more money than actually the cruise ships. So if we could get all of Dominica to be yachts, we'd be even better off. Exactly. So again, we have to ensure that we put more moorings in the areas, we have proper security, and that is exactly the same thing that we plan to do in the area of Scotshead. Because as you can see, most time the yachts come and they pass by and they go to Newtown, which has some moorings, or they go to Portsmouth, which has moorings. So the intention is to start up a pilot program, and I think the SSMR I think they have some funding, but we want to work with them as best as possible to ensure that it's done as quickly as possible and to also provide the same form of security to the person, so that instead of the yachty having to go from here straight to Roseau, they will stop here first. When they stop here, they're going to want fresh water, they want to get fruits, they want to get vegetables, they want to get meat, they want to get gas, they want to get all sorts of stuff. So again, it will allow ports, Soufriere and Scotshead to begin to benefit from that.
The Minister for Tourism told a town hall meeting in Soufriere Wednesday the goal is to ensure that some of the money brought into our shores by yachties is left in the Soufriere Scotshead area. Mr. Tong is hoping that 10 to 15 of the moorings can be installed before the new season starts. Meantime, the minister says on the issue of cruise ship listings for 2017-2018, Dominica is poised to realize an increase of over 50,000 people coming to Dominica as compared to previous years.
You are watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, we speak with head of the NWU on the relevance of that trade union. Stay with us. Welcome back. With the highly anticipated meeting among the government of Dominica, trade unions and public sector entities only days away, some union leaders are questioning whether this will come to pass, as they are yet to receive any formal invitation to or notice of the public dialogue. Andrea Louis explains.
During a town hall meeting in Trafalgar last month, Prime Minister Skerrit proposed the 24th April as a date to meet with the trade unions and have a conversation on public sector wages and the state of the economy. At the launching of the National Health Insurance Pilot Program in early April, Skerrit once again reiterated the desire to meet with these sectors to discuss the way forward. However, with the proposed date just on the horizon, trade unions are saying they have not received any sort of formal invitation from the office of the Prime Minister, though they are willing to attend the meeting when it is called.
I heard the announcement on the media like everyone else. We have not, as you asked, we have not received any specific invitation to attend the meeting, because I would hope that the time and place would be very important for you to attend the meeting, which we have not received. And I have no aversion to going to the meeting to listen, but what we are saying is that this is not in lieu of our negotiations.
Nicholas maintains the DAT will not be making any statements at that public meeting, as discussions will be saved for their continued private negotiations.
I don't think it is wise doing something like that, because one has to put everything in context. And doing something like that publicly, it will lose the significance of it. So that's what I'm saying. We will go to listen, because when you go, maybe you can get ideas, you know. I'm always one to listen, and we will take it from there. But that would not be a substitute for our negotiation meetings.
Meantime, WAWU, which also has no problem attending the meeting, says it is concerning the way in which the meeting came about.
A call from the Prime Minister to have discussion in relation to the state of the economy of Dominica with the social partners. That would be a good thing. My only criticism was that this seemed to have been precipitated following the breakdown, if you want to call it so, or the difference between the offer of government and the request from the Public Service Union in terms of wage negotiations.
Augusta says WAWU will be advocating for more regular meetings of the kind with government.
Before, we had such consultation on an annual basis, But I'm saying now it should be advanced. And instead of annually, we should have it at least quarterly. Because issues that could be discussed could very well be those that could lay clearly any concerns that persons may have in relation to the functioning of the administration and matters relative to or related to the whole question of the state of the economy.
And the General Secretary of the Dominica Trade Union, Bernard Nicholas, believes the impending meeting is needed to inform unions on the citizenship by investment funds and its use.
With the climate now, what is happening, I think it's a good move because what I've been hearing from other people, including my colleagues in the union, as far as the CBI is concerned, and they feel, well, money is to be thrown about. We had this meeting with the governor of the ECCB. All the unions were present. He made a strong point that this money must never be used to pay civil servants. And all the unions were there. Nobody ever challenged us. We all understood it.
Nicholas says, therefore, the labor unions should be advocating for non-salary benefits during the meeting.
One of those things I could see is that if government cannot pay, and I don't think government can pay, notwithstanding the millions that we hear that goes into jobs creation, the walls, the bridges, and so on, these are important things. So if government haven't got enough money in terms of productivity from the country, then I could only see alternatives in terms of non-salary negotiations, and rather than to push for money, because the government cannot use the CBI money.
General Secretary of the Public Service Union, Thomas Later, had on multiple occasions said that the PSU would not be represented at the public meeting with the government and social partners. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
Despite what appears to be a quiet National Workers' Union, its President General says the trade union has not lost ground.
Rawlings Jemmott spoke to Channel 5 News Thursday, stating that the NWU is still relevant within the trade union movement.
Well, the NWU is quiet as usual, and for the time being. We do work, we represent our workers, we get new bargaining. Just recently we got the MP, we negotiate salaries, but we don't go on the radio and talk about that. We negotiate salaries, we don't go and tell the entire country that we get 10%, 2%, 1% for our workers. No, that's private. That is between the workers and the thing. That the police should know their business, you know. So we are very quiet about those things.
Jemmott has been involved in the trade union movement for the past 50 years. He says he is displeased with the current state of affairs within the trade union system.
First of all, I personally maybe use my relevance because I'm not well, but we have two able officers like Mr. Wilson and Mr. Griffith are at the helm because they are for a number of years. And they're in charge of the organization. But they cannot follow the trend of the activities of trade union. It troubles them. It really troubles them. We are not happy of the movement entirely. Workers are on the decline. Workers are faced with different situations. The economic situation exists not in Dominica alone, but worldwide. But workers' security of tenure is no more existing. Job security is no more existing. Companies buy over companies within 6 months. And workers are sold out within 6 months by the companies. The unions can't get involved in that. See? So therefore, the way of workers and trade representation before is different now.
In more news, Parliamentary Representative for Soufriere has advised residents applying for small business assistance to focus on ventures that would complement and add value to the tourism product which already exists in that community.
MP Denise Charles told residents at a town hall meeting Wednesday it would be in their best interest to get creative and avoid duplicating regular shops and bars. 15 families have benefited so far from small business assistance from government. Prime Minister Skerrit recently announced a further allocation of $500,000 for small business assistance in the Soufrière constituency, which comprised Point Michel, Soufrière, Scotshead and Galion. Prior to that, government had initially made available $220,000 for small business assistance in that area.
I am happy to tell you that many people have been filling out their applications and bringing it to the office. The only thing I want to encourage us, because I've gone through some of the applications and I see that some people are applying to start shops and bars. Now, some of the areas they want to do that already have 4 or 3 bars or shops. So I want us to be a little creative, to think outside the box. As I said, we don't have a bakery in Soufrière. We should have one. Little ice cream shop, arts and crafts shop. Let us start thinking of businesses we can create to serve the customers that are going to be coming, the tourists that will be visiting.
Suitable training for residents interested in small business will be announced next week. Under tourism, there are 2 CBI-funded resorts to be constructed in the area, and plans are also in place to facilitate more productive use of the boulevard in Soufrière with the introduction of vendor stalls similar to what obtains in Point Michel.
That's news. Your sports highlights next with Kenny Williams.
First up, West Indies will face Pakistan for their first test match in Sabina Park on Friday. Previously, the Windies did not have the best performance in the T20 nor ODI formats and will be looking for better fortunes in the longer version of the game. The West Indies full squad for the test against Pakistan reads Jason Holder, captain, Devendra Bishu, Jermaine Blackwood, Craig Brathwaite, Roston Chase, Miguel Cummings, Shane Dorwich, Shannon Gabriel, Shimron Hepmeyer, Shai Hope, Alzari Joseph, Kieran Powell and Vishal Singh. Meantime, Windward's Volcanoes will also be looking for better performances when they take on Guyana Jaguars in the PCL Regional 4-Day Tournament on Friday. Currently, Volcanoes sits in 5th position on 97.6 points. League champions Guyana Jaguars is on 131.4, with Barbados Pride and Jamaica Scorpions next on 124 and 103.6 respectively. Volcanoes are just 5.3 points away from copping 4th position and 6.1 points from being 3rd. On the basketball scene, we had Detroit Blazers defeating LA Knights in a closely contested game 56-51 in the 2017 Flow DABA League on Wednesday. For Blazers, we had Mitchell Prevost with 18, Stern Defo 13, and Jason Lee 10. In a losing effort for LA Knights, Ridge Blaze added 13 with Roderick Blaze chipping in with 12 and Cameron Corbett 10. The league continues on Friday with PSC Falcons 2 up against Justina Charles Thunderers, followed by PSC Falcons 1 versus Thunderers 1. The games are carded for the Bird's Nest in Pishley at 7 and 9 respectively. In track and field, Pioneers Athletics Club President Cedric Harris says Saturday's Martinique Club Colonial Invitational is a great opportunity for track athletes here to improve on their skills. A team of 24 confirmed athletes will leave for the games on Friday. Dominican athletes have been taking part in the Martinique Club Colonial for over 15 years.
This competition is a stepping stone for a number of our athletes who did not make it to the Character Games, but still sees that their performance level is climbing, and that again would be somewhat a time for them to measure themselves with the performances that they saw at the Character Games. It's only going to go good for them. Like Mitchell Davis have been training very hard, Andre Bazil, and these 2 athletes for sure, I mean, they need some time to get the exposure at the regional level.
Meantime, Harris lauded the Dominican athletes for their performances at the recently concluded Character Games.
Well, Keon, we know, he's kind of seasoned athlete. He's not the first time on the podium at the Character Games, but last year he was silver and he stepped it up 1 notch to gold, which is...
Next up, the sport of fencing stands to benefit from the expertise of a top Romanian fencing coach soon. This according to President of the Dominica Fencing Association, Woody Lawrence.
We're expecting the arrival of Petru Kuki from Romania this afternoon, and he's one of the top-level coaches in the world. I've met him before, twice in El Salvador. He's going to be here with us on the weekend to conduct a foil training camp. As well, we will have a tournament on Sunday. So we're really excited to have him here. I mean, he's also really excited to be coming in here and helping us out. And it's going to be a wonderful weekend for us.
Lawrence says the sport has been growing, and this weekend's competition is testament to that.
In 2017 so far, we have launched a very ambitious program within the Fencing Association. We now have a full executive team. We have some new members, we have some new faces. We also have an increase in our membership. This is going to be a fall tournament, and because the camp is going to be in foil, we just sort of saw it fit to have this tournament at a time. And Cookie will also be going through some basic refereeing techniques as well, which will help us become better officials here locally.
Sunday's competition is carded for the All Dive Center in Loubier and runs from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. Moving on to football, the Domlec Women's League continues on Saturday with 3 matches. New Generation Sports Club will come up against Bombers Starlights at the Stock Farm Complex. On Sunday, Live Dominica Harlem United will do battle with West Coast Jaguars at Benjamin's Park. Over at Stock Farm, it will be Maui Soka Strikettes versus defending champions New India Goodwill Runners. All matches begin at 4 p.m. Previously, New Generation defeated West Coast Jaguars 9-0 at Benjamin's Park, and Dive Dominica Harlem United beat Bombers Starlights 10-0. Finally, in netball, Dominica's under-16 team won the final match of the Tri-Series against St. Lucia under-16 on Wednesday. The scores were 38-28 in favor of the visiting side. For Dominica, we had Selena Langley with 29 from 34 attempts, with 9 from Kayla Telemac. St. Lucia's shooters were Ariel Leonard, 17 from 20, and Megan Nestor, 18 from 17, and Daisha Eugene, 3 from 7. That's all the sporting highlights for now. I am Kenny Williams. Join us next time.
We check in now with the Met Office for the latest weather update.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I will be your presenter for this evening, Farah Rock Correa. Weak and stable conditions was a dominant feature affecting weather conditions across the Dominica and the rest of the islands of the Lesser Antilles, resulting in partly cloudy to cloudy skies across Dominica and mostly cloudy skies across the southern portion of the Lesser Antilles. Afternoon's radar indicated no shower activity across Dominica. However, some shower activity was observed in the St. Vincent and Grenadines area. The weather tonight is expected to be partly cloudy to cloudy and breezy with a few scattered showers, and similar conditions are anticipated for tomorrow with maximum temperatures expected to peak up to 32 degrees Celsius. Let's move on now to the marine forecast. Once again, sea conditions will be moderate and waves are expected to peak up to 7 feet. Therefore, small craft operators and sea bathers, please do exercise caution. Let's take a look now at the weekend's weather. Starting tomorrow, Friday, partly cloudy to cloudy and breezy with a few scattered showers. An increase in cloudiness and shower activity is expected on Saturday and Sunday. Mostly cloudy skies with some showers that can be expected. What will the weather be for the rest of the Caribbean tomorrow? Well, the northern to the central portion of the islands can expect partly cloudy skies with some showers, while the southern portion of the islands can expect mostly cloudy skies with some showers. On the international scene tomorrow, both the cities of New York and Caracas can expect some thunderstorm activity and some partly cloudy skies expected in Miami. Cloudy skies in London and the city of Beijing can anticipate some beautiful sunny skies. The sun will rise tomorrow at 5:47 a.m. and will set at 6:21 p.m. For more information, you could always visit our website at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Join us tomorrow evening for your next weather broadcast. Thank you for listening.
To end the news, the headlines again. Construction on new Marigot Hospital to start within the next 2 months. Builders and Contractors Association highlight the need for increased safety of construction workers. And days before trade unions meet with the Prime Minister, some are claiming they are yet to receive a formal invitation. You can feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com, and you can also access our news on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Idona John Baptist. To our viewers around the world, thanks for watching. Join us tomorrow.